Chapter 91. Devron, who should have been dead to atone for all his sins, couldn't be allowed to live. The same was true for the people of the Apeto family who had joined hands with him and orchestrated all these events. If it were revealed that Zakil had joined hands with them to seize the lordship, he could never be forgiven. Even though he hadn't yet inherited the lordship, with the success of everything right before his eyes, he didn't anticipate such a turn of events. Although his mind was reeling, only the thought of escaping by any means necessary propelled Zakil to act unabashedly. "How dare you plot in front of me, the Lord of Harton? Escape? Report? This is absurd. I will contact His Grace, the Duke of Peleta, your immediate master, right away. I will ask him to grant me permission to execute the person who killed my father and sister and is now roaming around with a calm face." "Did I kill the Lord and the others?" The one who responded to Zakil's words was Devron. He couldn't help but let out a genuine laugh, as if the suggestion was absurd. However, the laughter that burst from his face, covered in bruises and wounds, looked monstrous, causing Zakil to involuntarily recoil in fear. So didn't you? By starting a great fire?" "Why would I?" Devron asked back with a twisted smile. His eyes were full of hatred, but his voice was eerily calm, making Zakil shiver even more. "What? Why would I do that, huh? No matter how much I think about it, there's no reason, right? I left my hometown, joined the cavalry, received a holy order from the emperor himself, and made a lot of money. I was on the path to success. Why would I risk it all? Doesn't that seem absurd to you, too?" "How should I know? People like you get a little power and start getting ideas about their station, and perhaps in your arrogance you started the fire. Because of you, I didn't even hear my father's and sister's last words." "So you're blaming me with lies until the very end." "So are you saying that I, who wasn't in Harton at that time, started the fire?" That's a good point. Let's discuss that, shall we?" Looking into Devron's piercing eyes, Zakil managed to keep his unease at bay. "What's this? Does he have some kind of proof?" "No, these guys don't know anything yet. I have no solid evidence that I was in league with the Apeto family. Even if they heard something when they were caught, words alone can't serve as evidence." As Zakil rolled his eyes, Devron opened his mouth. "The guys who captured me grumbled that taking over a small place like Harton wouldn't mean much, and they'd done too much for what they got. They even said that without me as a payoff, the deal wouldn't have been worthwhile. That means someone joined hands with them, took Harton, and handed me over as compensation. Who else could be the culprit if it's not you, Zakil Harton, considering the Lord and the heir Zupiel have passed? Of course, it could be Zakil's, who had been received the knighthood and started a new life. None of them had any reason to do so. But you, Zakil Harton, you had a reason. Can you swear before God that you didn't commit all these atrocities just to become the Lord of Harton?" Devron's resonant voice was so loud that even guards standing far away could easily hear their conversation. Zakil gritted his teeth as he heard the mumbling voices from afar. "After the fire, you didn't listen to a word I said. You immediately framed me as a culprit, locked me in prison, then buried me alive in front of the rock of death, didn't you?" Devron accused. "No!" Zakil yelled, his body convulsing as if in a seizure. But no matter how much he struggled, the black shadow clone that firmly held him didn't so much as flinch. I heard that you had committed suicide in prison, so I simply ordered you to be buried quietly. Whom did you tell this to? The one who retorted to Ezekiel was a handsome man with auburn hair and striking features. The man in a well-fitted black uniform looked down at Ezekiel with eyes sparkling with amusement as he asked again, "To whom did you give the order, Ezekiel? If we can find this person, the truth will be revealed. Right, Devon?" "Right. I couldn't know who took me that day as I was hooded, unable to see." You brats." Ezekiel suddenly realized that he had fallen into a trap. Of course, he never gave such an order. The one who had taken Devon from prison, buried him, and then dug him up again were the people from the Apeto family who had disguised themselves as hunters and hidden after negotiating everything in advance with Ezekiel. Ezekiel had personally opened the door leading to the prison so they could fulfill their purpose quietly under the cover of the pre-dawn darkness without anyone notice. To divert the attention of his older brother Zacchaeus, who came rushing upon hearing the news of their father and sister's death, and the village people, he spent all day preparing for the funeral in the back hill, purposely dragging out the time. As he expected, no one cared about the missing Devon. They all believed that Devon had killed his family and set fire to the castle. Who could suspect that Zacchaeus, who was faithfully playing the naive youngest son, who knew nothing, was lying? Zacchaeus, busy with nightly duties, was shell-shocked upon hearing the news of his lover's death and was spaced out throughout the funeral. Although he had said that he would deal with inheritance matters when he returned to the Knights, Zacchaeus didn't doubt that his brother wouldn't decide to inherit the title of the Lord of the village. Aside from the fact that the promising future of a knight was brighter than the petty lordship of a small village, he calculated that his overly sentimental brother wouldn't want to return to the village where his lover died. If that happened, Zacchaeus would have become the lord as planned, gaining the protection of Abeto instead of the Diarca family, who hadn't done anything for him, and would have grown stronger. He had big dreams of starting as the insignificant youngest son of a small village lord and ultimately becoming the winner in the East. Zacchaeus bit his lower lip hard enough to bleed as he thought about that dream. He couldn't afford to be tripped up here because of those commoners. Let's not interfere. Getting angry won't benefit me. Bowing my head to these commoners is humiliating, but I need to reassure them and survive. I really can't remember who I gave such an order to, as there wasn't enough context. You're only saying that now? Father and older brother are gone. Do you think there would be any danger if it were you? Yes, perhaps. Who knows if those men who claim to have captured you had deceived me and taken you instead, right? What? Zacchaeus managed to force a smile to match Devron's brazenness. Listen, I'm not sure who planned this ludicrous idea in your head, but it wasn't me who captured you. Think about it. I am a victim too. All I did was order a proper burial upon hearing news of your death, and here we are. Shouldn't vengeance be first sought from those who captured you, right? Free me now. If you do, I will forgive all the insolence you have shown me, and as the current representative of the Lord of Harton, I will happily assist you. I will contact the capital to help find the real culprit. Persisting in hounding me in this manner won't do you any good. Devron and everyone else present were taken aback by Zacchaeus, who was trying to persuade people with sheer audacity despite having no evidence. His audacity was truly formidable. He probably won't admit anything without evidence. I suppose I should just do what I need to before he can further manipulate the situation. Devron, we need to send a letter. Let's return to the castle for now. Can't we just kill him? Despite facing his mortal enemy, Devron, who was unable to lift a finger, muttered with a scowl. At Devron's grumbling, Zakel visibly shrank back, holding his breath. Did either say it was okay? No. Then don't. After saying this, Gakani approached Devron and whispered just loudly enough for him to hear. When Uther finishes his work and comes back, that guy's done for. You don't need to soil your hands. Our leader will take care of it. So bear with it for a little longer, and for the sake of your family. All right. At the mention of his family, Devron, whose face had softened, subdued his fiery temper and exhaled. They took Zakel, who they had apprehended, and returned to Horton Castle. The villagers, seeing Zakel caught by the shadow clone and lifted up, wore expressions as though they were about to faint, but were even more surprised when they saw Devron and his family, who had returned alive. What on earth happened? I thought he was dead. Considering Lord Zakel had been captured, it seems. Goodness, what in the world is happening? At their confusion peaked when they entered the castle and came face to face with a terrified-looking elderly attendant. Lord Zakel, not long ago, Lord Zakelis has returned and was waiting. But what on earth? Zakelis is here? On behalf of Zakel, who was gagging by the shadow clone, Devron shouted out loud. That's good. Where is he now? In the parlor. Let's go. They all rushed to the parlor, the same parlor where this morning Uther and his colleagues had devoured a plethora of food. Much to Zakel's annoyance, now had a man dressed in a silver armor anxiously pacing. The man, who had a similar appearance to Zakel, had seemed much kinder, was startled by the sudden influx of people. However, upon noticing Devron and Dermila behind him, his eyes widened in shock.